You don't need a fancy gym membership to get ripped. In fact, some of my best client transformations happen right in their home gym. If you don't have time to go to the gym, maybe your confidence in the gym is lacking, or simply you have a home gym that's going to waste, or maybe you just can't stand the crowds and you want more flexibility, this video is your fat loss at home super system that I'm gonna walk through starting right now. So there's this weird belief that being in elite shape requires all the fancy equipment that you can grab at your local Lifetime Fitness, but in reality, fat loss really just comes down to your daily systems. And for a lot of the guys I work with, the daily systems start by getting in their home gym, which is easily accessible, usually in their basement, that they can jump into on the days that they train without any really resistance. Sure, at times it might make sense for you to go to a fancier gym and train, but at the end of the day, you have everything you need at home, and I'm gonna prove it to you right now. So one of the first non-negotiables is our commitment to move more throughout the day. I hear from guys all the time that they struggle to hit, the 10 to 15,000 steps. So what I'm gonna tell you is that as a busy dad and a guy who coaches multiple sports, runs a huge coaching organization, handles a team, does all this stuff, wants to go on dates with his wife, the typical mid 30s to late 50s guy in America right now who's trying to do it all. If that's you, what I can tell you is you don't necessarily need to do outrageous amounts of steps. What I would suggest is take whatever you're doing now and start to increase it by 10% every week. And so if you start tracking your steps and you go, wow, okay, I'm only hitting 5,000 steps a day. Well, the first week, let's just try to hit 5,500. What you can also do is increase the intensity of your steps. And the best way to do that is to pick up a really easy tool like a weight vest, or go jump on a treadmill if you have one and walk in an incline. If you walk with a weight vest on, you're gonna burn more calories while you're walking. And if you walk with an incline or on an incline, you'll also burn more calories. Over time, you're gonna build up a tolerance to having a higher step count. Most of the guys I coach who get super lean, especially guys in their 40s and 50s, typically for those guys, I'm prescribing anywhere from like 7,000 steps a day to 12,000 steps on some days that they have more time. Like the days where I go coach my kids at night and I'm walking around for 2 hours straight around the fields. And that's an easy extra 4,000 to 5,000 steps for me. So I can get the 10,000 plus on those days. Most days I'm right around 8,000 to 10,000. Now, before I forget, I put together a whole guide. It's the Ripped Body Roadmap. It's your A to Z system guide on everything you need to know if you're a guy in his 40s or 50s who's trying to look good, who wants to feel confident with his shirt off, who's sick and tired of having a gut, but you've wasted years. I say wasted, you probably haven't wasted the years, but you've put everything in front of your health and fitness. You've put your career, your business, you've taken care of your family, you've done a really good job on a few other fronts, but you've sacrificed your body in the process. So now you're trying to get back in shape. Maybe you were an athlete in the past, maybe you still enjoy some athletic activity, but your physique just doesn't match who you truly are as a man. If that's you, the Ripped Body Roadmap will be the first step in getting on the right track. And let me warn you in advance, it is very detailed. It's not your typical little downloadable PDF with 3 things. It's got a lot in there. Now it's got some simple systems built inside the framework, so I promise you it will get you on the right track really fast. If you want a free copy, comment RIPPED below this video and I will send you a link to grab it at no cost. What should you have in your home gym to make it super effective for fat loss or muscle building at home? Well, I'm gonna start with a bench, okay? Having a bench is probably one of the first pieces of equipment that I'm gonna suggest you invest in, along with a couple pairs of dumbbells. I have quite a few dumbbells here that I've built up in my collection over the years. And an easy way to figure out what dumbbells to get, you should have a lighter pair of dumbbells for the smaller muscle groups that you train, like your shoulders, with lateral raises, curls, that kind of stuff. You should have a moderately heavy pair of dumbbells. So think like in numbers, we could say the light pair of dumbbells would be like 15 to 20s. Moderate weight would be like 40 to 60. And then one heavy pair of dumbbells, which could be anywhere from 75 to 125 pound dumbbells. Is that all you're gonna need? Probably not. So what I'm gonna suggest, if you can get your hands on it, is grab yourself an adjustable dumbbell set. It's gonna be a little bit more friendly when it comes to space in your gym and a little more cost effective. Now, if money is no issue, which I know for a lot of the guys I work with, money really isn't an issue. They're willing to invest in things, tools to help them improve their health. Go out and buy a full rack of dumbbells from 5 to 125 or 150 pounds if you can. You may not need the super heavy dumbbells yet, but they will come in handy as you get stronger. There's a couple other tools though that I suggest you pick up, and I'm gonna share those with you right now. Now, the next thing I'm gonna tell you to get is a barbell and a rack, and make sure the rack has some kind of pull-up bar on the rack itself. Along with the barbell and your rack, I'm gonna suggest you pick up some weight plates. These weight plates that I have here are anywhere from 25 up to 45 pounds per. I do have a couple 35 pounders. And then you can't really see it, but over here I have some 2.5 pound weight plates, some 5 pound weight plates, and some 10 pound weight plates. Now, I'm not a massive barbell fan, but when you're in the home gym, there's a boatload of exercises you can get done using a barbell and a rack. So highly suggest that after the bench, after the dumbbells, you grab a barbell and a rack with some weight plates. Once again, if your budget allows for it, which once again, most of the guys I work with have some extra capital that they can invest in a home gym. Guys that I train and coach, that I've been coaching now for the better part of 20 years, we've worked with well over 7,500 clients. Actually, I should stop saying 7,500. It's well over 8,000 now if we factor in all the guys who have bought our programs, invested in our coaching systems. We've worked with quite a lot of people. One of the things we stress is simplicity. So when we're training at home and we don't have all the fancy equipment, all the fancy machines that you're gonna find in your local Equinox or Lifetime Fitness or whatever nice gym that you train in, we gotta be focused on simple. And so that's why I stress mastering the basics, mastering the presses, mastering the rows, mastering the hip hinge, the squats, like variations of those things. It doesn't have to be the versions that put you at risk for injury, but the versions that will get the most bang for your buck, the most juice from the squeeze. Don't fall in love with all these crazy fancy exercises. Then again, as you progress, what you'll find, especially if you're focused on dumbbell work, there are a boatload of exercises that you can start to learn and master that most people don't even know exist. But it only works if you master the basics first. I suggest following a very simple routine and just simply getting stronger. Just working on consistency. You'll find that your body responds extremely well to consistency. I always tell the story of when I first started lifting weights back when I was like 13, 14 years old, which is well over 25 years ago. The exercises I did back then in my little local rec center, which was about a mile from my house, I used to jog over there after baseball practice, go lift weights, jog home. So I was running 2 miles and lifting weights for an hour almost every day. Like, I became very obsessed with it. And the exercises I was doing back then are still the exercises that I do now. And so like all the stuff I was doing, the dumbbell bench press, the curls, the overhead tricep extensions, the squats, the deadlifts, like all that stuff, I'm still doing those now. The only difference is I'm just stronger. I'm just better at it. I've just developed more mind to muscle connection. So don't think that you have to have all the hammer strength, all the cables, all the cool sleds and all that stuff. I mean, that stuff's great. If you have access to that, cool, use it, but you don't have to have it to look incredible. Which reminds me again, if you haven't picked up a copy of my Ripped Body Roadmap, make sure you comment ripped below. I include a lot of detail about how to set up a proper training program that I know will help you, especially if you are a busy guy like me who wants to look good, who's sick and tired of being the fat husband, who wants to be the guy in his circle, in his social circle, in his business circle, who's respected for his attention to his physical health. If that's you, comment ripped below this video. I will send you this guide. This guide is worth at least $1,000 on its own. My only goal, develop a relationship with you, give you enough value to where you'll consider taking the next step, which, by the way, I should also mention is in the description below. If you want to learn about our systems and our elite coaching program for guys over 40, check it out in the description of this video, but let's keep going. So really when it comes down to it, we have to take a look at what the overall system is if we're going to train at home. I think the biggest risk of training at home is the risk of distraction. If we're not in a gym, if we're about a stone's throw away from our home office, maybe our kids are home, maybe our wife is here, we have to be focused and time block our workout time appropriately. I'm not saying ignore your responsibilities or anything silly, but this might require still getting up a little bit earlier, right, to get it done first thing in the day. A couple little tips that I'll give you if you struggle to get motivated to train at home. Have a TV. Put some motivational stuff on your TV. When I'm getting ready for a photo shoot or a high rocks competition, I'll put videos of people doing those things on the TV. It just inspires me to get it done. The other thing is music. I have a speaker, you can't see it over here, but there's a speaker here that I like to play worship music a lot of the times. Worship music definitely fires me up. I like all types of music though. I like rap, I like hip hop or rock music. I like 80s music a lot. 80s music fires me up. I like EDM. So I'm not like set on one thing. I even love some really awesome country music. And so if you have a great playlist, let me know. Drop it in the comments below if you made it this far in the video. Drop me your favorite hype playlist on Spotify or wherever you listen to music. But setting up your environment for success is so important because we're at home. We have so many things that we could go do. We could go mow the lawn, I get distracted by work. That's my biggest downfall. I have to avoid my phone at all costs because I start answering emails. I start thinking about content. I start thinking about our clients and answering questions and all this stuff. And so those things matter. But what matters is that when you're setting your training time, that time is sacred. So just be aware that when we're at home, there could be just a little bit more risk of distraction. So let's just wrap this up by building out a system. Like, what does the system look like if we're training at home? My suggestion is 3 workouts a week. Okay, let's just start there. Let's get really consistent with that. You can always add an additional workout. You can take away one if you have super busy weeks and you can only train twice, that's fine. But my suggestion for most guys is commit 3 to 4 workouts per week and just train for 30 to 40 minutes each time. You don't need to go crazy and train for an hour or 2 hours or whatever. I'm not sure if people even attempt that anymore. I mean, that's just insane. The thought of having to train for an hour plus every day is crazy to me with all the things I have going on. So 30 to 40 minutes in and out, focus on the basics, okay? So the best split that I like to follow is push-pull legs. On push day, we're doing chest, shoulders, triceps, back, biceps, traps, rear delts a little bit, and then legs, quads, hamstrings, glutes, calves. Throw in some abs if you want. On one of those days, you could do them every day if you wanted to. You could just do a finisher with some core work. And then every day, have a commitment to movement. Some days might be more movement. Maybe it's the days you don't work out. Maybe in the morning, instead of going to your home gym and lifting weights, you go outside for a 30-minute walk. And on those days, you hit more steps. And the reason why this could be really beneficial is when we look at a 7-day moving average of your movement, the overall step count goes up because of those higher step days. And we're able to have a little less stress on the days we don't have as much time and we don't hit as high a step count. Now, of course, I would be absolutely crazy to not mention the fact that nutrition plays a huge role no matter where you train, whether you train at home or a fancy gym. The other thing that matters massive amounts is our mental game. As guys, as we get older, we have so much on our plate. We've taken on the world in a sense. We have so many battles we're fighting. This is why I put together the Ripped Body Roadmap. This is going to outline in detail some serious strategies that will go deep on nutrition, that will go deep on fully optimizing your hormones, fully optimizing your mindset, getting in a place where not only do you find success, but you're able to now create a new standard. You're not worried about going backwards. You are going to be fit for the rest of your life. And sure, there might be chapters where you gain a few pounds, chapters where you lose a few pounds, but now your new normal is being healthy and fit. And that goes on for the rest of your life. If that's you, just comment ripped below this video. Or heck, if you're serious and you're like, hey, enough is enough. I know I need coaching, I need a community, I need to get challenged, to get out of my comfort zone, to build a body that I'm proud of. I'm sick and tired of my body not reflecting who I am as a man. If that's you, check out our program. It's in the description below. And here's a little nugget of things that we do slightly differently that might entice you to take that first step. The first thing I'll say is we don't do sales calls. Sales calls, I know, they're all the rage. Like, you're gonna see a lot of our competitors pushing you, telling you that you have to make a certain amount of money, that the first call you have to be ready to buy. Like, I understand some of that mindset. I just take a slightly different approach. I want to build a relationship with you. I don't want you to only be in our program for 3 months. I want you to have such an incredible experience from day one that you decide to become a part of our community for a very long time. And then eventually you're an asset to our community. You're actually helping other people. That's down the road, but it all starts with the first time that we chat. We don't pitch you anything. It's literally an information gathering session. I want to go deep dive on the things that you're struggling with. I really want to get crystal clear on what are the challenges that you're experiencing. I want to understand you at a better level. And then from there, we're going to build a very detailed action plan. This is going to be delivered to you. It's going to be something you can reference all the time. It's going to give you actual clarity on where to go from here. What are the first steps that you need to take? And then, and only then, if we both decide that it's a mutual fit to work together, then we'll set up another consultation where we'll discuss some options. But there's no pressure, right? It's a no-brainer. It's no worries, no pressures. It's just, this makes sense on both sides. And this is a mutually beneficial situation where we can partner up and go get a lot of things done. So I say all that to say, if you're serious about making some changes, highly suggest checking out our program below and scheduling one of those action plan consultations. Hopefully this video helped. If this one did, go check out the next one. You got a few steps now to start taking. You got a little bit of homework. Go make it happen. Life moves fast. Make it count. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.